This is Lady Maya. Hello, you guys. I am back once again. Listen, got company, more company, okay? So, this is what we are trying to do. We're trying to get you guys to understand that it is not about the goal, it's about the journey. Okay, so I have Miss Leah Dade, and she is just this phenomenal woman. I mean, her stories and everything she's got going on, and just her purpose is wow, you guys, and it's hard to shut me up, but at the same time, I just wanted to hear what she has to say and and different things like that. And I said, no, I got to get this on tape first before we go forth and prosper. Okay, you guys, but thank you so much for joining me once again. This is Living Your Best Life with Lady Maya. Thank you so much, Miss Leah Dade, for joining us. I appreciate you and your energies, dear heart. Thank you so much for being here. You can take it away, Miss Leah.
Well, first of all, Lady Mai, thank you so much because your energy is electrifying. I'm feeling it all through this computer right here, right now. And when I heard that the title of your show was Living Your Best Life, I was like, oh, I would love to have a conversation about how we live our best life and what that can look like. And in a day like today, when we're in the middle of COVID-19, is it still possible? Think about, is it still possible to say that you're able to live your best life? Well, first and foremost, God makes it where all things are possible. And so as a result, I know He is not left nor forsaken. And as a result, yes, I can live my best life, and so can you and everyone else that is listening today. So thank you so much. And so as I was thinking about the whole concept of living your best life, I started thinking about my life and my personal journey. So I'm an independent sales director at Mary Kay Cosmetics and have been one for 28 years. But 28 years ago, I wasn't the same woman that I am today. 28 years ago, I was different. I was someone who wasn't as confident as I should be. I was someone who was a survivor of domestic violence. I was not the same person. So think about who you are today. And are you who you really want to be? Because that to me is about living your best life. And you could be who you really, really, and truly want to be. So I'm loving this part of my journey. I was sharing with you earlier that I think that every woman needs to have a journey where she is connected to an organization that provides her with capacity building for herself, leadership training for herself, and then she gets to actually make some money doing it. Get excited.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that has happened for me. That way of background, I graduated from Trinity College in Washington, D.C. with a double undergraduate degree, and I graduated from Rutgers Law School. And I really thought that that was going to be my direction. But guess what? I spent most of my time working in the nonprofit sector. Now, I don't know if you know anything about nonprofits, but we do a great work and we're not the best paid, right? We're not the best paid. And so I've loved always helping people. And so I've spent all of my career helping in the human services realm. And then I needed a plan B. I needed to have a backup plan. I needed to make some extra money. And I had a 5-year-old daughter. And as a single mom, I definitely need to figure it out. And that's really when Mary Kay came into my life. And so I'm one of those people who lives their best life because I get the privilege of being both. I'm an executive director for a nonprofit as my traditional employment, and then I have my Mary Kay business as well. And so I just say, in order to live your best life, you have to choose to ensure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. You're surrounding yourself with the right opportunity that will feed into you and pour into you. And that's one of the things that Mary Kay has done for me.
That is an excellent thing to even be a part of. When you have that one thing that can give you the joy, give you the money, but give you full capacity to get to know other people. And like you said earlier, it just gives you so much to talk about and just to even, make yourself kind of readily available just a regular person, and then to take others with you, being a director and what you're doing. I think that is just an excellent thing, because now you're giving people the option.
Yes.
Listen, if you don't, if you're having a time or whatever, and things don't look so good or what have you, if you were to focus on one thing, something that would give you the joy, that would give you, like you said, the support. The Mary Kay thing is thick. You guys are like, y'all run. All right, I'm trying to get on that next cruise. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure.
We run in packs. We run in packs. Yes, we do. And we provide a great support system, and that's what I love. I love that I get the opportunity to help women achieve whatever their goals are, whatever their dreams are, but more importantly, to help them become who God created them to be. Because so
Yes,
many times we put ourselves in this box, and the box is defined by what kind of employment we have, what kind of economic status that we have, what our story has been in our past life, right? But the truth of the matter is we can be free from that. The word says, who the Son is set free is free indeed. And what does that freedom look like? What does it look like? What would you feel like if you truly could be free from all of your past? If you truly could be free from the story that you've had to be living out? And the great thing is that in a safe place, in a safe environment to grow, like our Mary Kay community, you really can have that opportunity because it was given to me. And because it was given to me, I love being able to give it to others.
yes, and I think that's the gift that keeps on giving. We love it, definitely. Okay, so let me see, because I do want my tribe, the Myya-ian Tribe, because we're special like that. We love stories, and so we would like to get a better hand on what made you go here in the first place. What gave you this opportunity?
So, interesting, believe it or not, I never ever thought or believed that this was something that I could do. And that comes from most women, right? And so the truth of the matter is I called myself helping my sister. And that's what made me say just yes to Mary Kay. But I think a more pivotal question is what made me stay and what made me decide to look at it as a true career path for myself. And the truth of the matter is, what made me stay was the growth that I was able to experience, the growth in the challenge. The fact that I was never judged was another big factor for me. And like I said, that support system that really helped build my capacity, that helped me grow, was another reason why I stayed. And then once you're on the career path, well, you earn your first, your first Mary Kay card. It gets really exciting to you, right? So I will tell you for sure that I have stayed for the growth that I have been able to have for myself and to help others have. And so once you make the decision, doesn't matter how you come in the door. You may come in the door because your girlfriend is, saying, "Look, I'm in my last month of qualification to earn my car. I'm in the last month of qualification to become a sales director. I just need one more. I just need one more." And you're that one more. And it's okay that you're that one more, because once you actually take part of this organization, you can begin to see yourself and begin to see how it can unfold for you. And it's just
Mm,
about what matters and what can work for you. So I would have been the least likely person because I didn't have friends. And we talked about this earlier about being from New Jersey, and that was so standoffish, right? So I didn't have any friends. I wasn't trying to talk to anybody. I didn't want to know anybody. I was just fine with just myself. But guess what? We're not, God doesn't mean for us to be that way. We're meant to be in fellowship with one to another, right? And so for me, that was just a defense mechanism. So a lot of times as women, we're just putting up a defense shield because maybe we've been hurt before. Maybe someone has taken advantage of our kindness. And so it becomes that defense mechanism. Because the truth of the matter is, we really all got it. God created us to be in fellowship with one another and not to just be by ourselves.
True, very true. You better tell them, girl. I know that's right. Listen, I look at it this way. A lot of people, us being closed off from the world right now because we're not allowed to really, be in anyone else's presence or what have you. What would you want to say to those that are finding it just a little bit harder to kind of swallow? That pill can be not so great.
Well, the good thing about that is that there is an opportunity for you to link with a group of people who, honestly, in the middle of this pandemic, we are closer than we've ever been, and we are prospering even the greater. We just, in the middle of the pandemic, finished earning a pink Cadillac. I mean, who would have thought in the middle of a pandemic that we would finish a pink Cadillac, right? And the support of the entire Mary Kay culture is taking place. So for those who are having a hard time, I would definitely tell you that being connected, whether you're connected virtually through therapy, whether you're connected virtually through your house of worship, whether you're connected virtually because you have your pod of girlfriends who always get together. At a minimum, make sure you're connected virtually. And I will tell you that in our organization, we're connecting and meeting weekly, sometimes 2 and 3 times a week, to make sure that we're staying connected with our teams and building up our teams. And we're doing it over the camera, over the internet, on Zoom, on things like StreamYard, where we're able to stay in contact with one another. And what I love is that it allows me to stay in contact with people all over the country. Like, who would have thought I'd be here in New Jersey? You're in South Carolina, and now you're my new friend.
I love friends. I I think this is just one of those things, and I'll repeat this again and again, you guys. You're gonna hear me say it. I think this epidemic is definitely a blessing. Why I say that is this: you can travel across the world without going anywhere. You
Mhm.
can meet people without having to leave your home. You sometimes need to just take a step back. This everything was so loud and so bright and flashy and shiny and different things like that. And it distracted us from the things that really matter. And it's usually the things that you start off in your home and work your way out. Because now you find that, okay, you know what, at least I have this.
Right.
At least I have that. When we start to see gratitude and we start to be grateful for what we do have and not so much on what we don't have, then we can see the perspective of, you know what? I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't have a house, or I didn't have a nice place, I didn't have a nice car, I didn't have good friends, I didn't have this or that. But now you do, and you have access. Now you have time. That's the
Exactly.
icing on the cake, you guys. It's on the icing on the cake because it's like before it was just like, no, I just don't have time to do it. Now you ain't got no excuse. You can try something new. You can do something new. And look at here, you can make new friends. And all you got to do is turn on the computer or your cell phone. Zoom goes everywhere. I just talked to somebody in Brazil today. Yeah, try that. Okay, so the fact of the matter is, be grateful. Be very grateful, and I'm super grateful to talk to Leah because, like, I'm like, she knew a good friend of mine, and I'm like, I wouldn't have even have known that. But if we didn't talk about it, we wouldn't have known. And she's near my hometown, Philly. It's like, who would have known? Who really would have known? And I think everything that she says is absolutely on the money. When it's, you want to give people opportunities, and don't. I wouldn't want to put anything in a box ever. Like, I know, honey, I got rid of my box 7 years ago. I ain't got time. I'm just saying the possibilities are so endless. It
Exactly.
really is. And you're the only one sometimes putting the only expectations on your limits. And that's so wrong. so wrong when you could be doing something so great and being that person that people are looking up to, and here you are putting a cap on it. So not only you, but others. So,
Exactly. And I'm going to say, Leah Myya, a lot of times we allow people to put the cap on us.
how
We
about
allow
that?
them to decide how good we are. We allow them to decide if we can achieve. We allow them to decide if you're shy. We allow them to decide if you're outgoing. I can tell you that if you were told as a child that you are shy, you're shy today. But if you
Mm,
were told as a child that you are a leader, that you're
mm,
assertive and you're aggressive, or that you're
mm,
dynamic, you're that today. So
mm,
many times we've just taken on the labels of what people have told us that we are. And so one of the things I work with women, men are in Mary Kay too, but mostly women, is stripping away all of those things. And I'm saying, so if you could decide who you really want to be, if you could decide today who you really want to be, who would she be? Who would
mm.
she be? What would she look like? How would she dress? Where would she go? What is it that she would like to achieve? I love being able to say, if time and money were no object, because the truth of the matter is, most dreams take two things: time and money, right? So, if time and money were no object, what would it be that you'd like to achieve? Because the truth of the matter is, time and money are not an object. Everybody has the same amount of time. We all have the same amount of time. We have the same 24 hours. We have the same 7 days a week. We have the same 12 months out of a year, right? So it's not an issue of time. It's what we choose to do with our time, and it's what we choose to do with our money. It is what we choose to do with our money. And so I'm always asking women, what is it that you're doing with your time and money that is not going to get you to that dream place that you say that you want? So if it's a house, what are you doing with your time and money that's not going to get you to that house? If it's tuition for your children, what are you doing with your time and money that's not going to get you there? So it's really important to begin to identify what you're doing with your time and money, because time and money are not going to be factors when you make the right choices.
And I want to say this as well. You awesome with everything that you saying. I want to say that you can be the testimonial for your life. If anything, a lot of people tend to, like we were saying, basically, the time and the money. But at the same time, are you showing your children that they can be anything if they really put their mind to it? Are
Mm.
you showing the people that's around you that they can also do the same thing you're doing? Are you also able to show the people that said, no, you could not, that you can? So if we were to do that, we would then find that not only were we put into a better spot, but those that are around us now, we've ignited all the fires around us.
Mhm.
And we've allowed them to say, you know what, if they can do it, I know I can do it. And they might do it just a little bit better. And then the
Exactly.
next generation a little bit better. You are setting up the people that are around you that you care about so greatly because of the fact that you were being a beacon of light in an otherwise dark world. And
Amen.
just taking the time to do something like that. Listen, I tell people all the time, listen, I'm an empty nester. Yes.
Me
But
too.
hallelujah. And at the same time, you can only have so many conversations with the walls. The walls don't talk back to you.
Nor do my two poodles. I get it.
And I just, when you do make that sacrifice or you make the intention, because I tell people all the time, set the intention, set the intention, set the intention, be intentional. A good friend of mine that's from Jersey, might I add, told me to be intentional, and I said, "What you talking about?" But she made sense.
Hmm.
Everything that you do, be intentional. If you want to have a goal, set that goal. Be intentional on getting to that goal. Yes, you might get redistracted. You might have to, the plans may get rerouted. A lot of times we put it in the GPS. We want to go here, but we took a wrong turn somewhere. But yeah, and still we can still get there. It just take us a little bit longer. Now we have to have a little bit more time and a lot more patience. And you never know, that path may have had a lesson for you to learn, so you can get to that one without all those potholes. Oh, girl, I'm not trying to preach on here. I am not trying to do that. That is just not what I'm trying to do. But I
Well,
feel like
the
there's
word
something
gives
that
us the word gives us a great roadmap in that area. The word
mm,
says, make your request known, right? Make your request known to God, right? And that's setting the intention. That's
mm,
literally the intention. When we make our request known to Him, that is setting our intention. And it
yeah,
says that He is then faithful to bring it to pass. So we just have to set the intention by making the request known and then trust that He is going to bring it to pass. Now, what we don't control is the process. We don't control the middle because the middle may get a little, right? May get a little crazy, right? Might be a little off track. But if we stay in the intention and then in the truth and understanding and belief that it will be brought to pass, it's going to come to pass. We just
yeah,
have to stay in those two places of intention and trusting that He will bring it to pass. So I agree with you. Intention is everything. That's making that request known, right? But also, is it truly the desire of our heart? So I say to people, what is the desire of your heart? What I do may not be the desire of your heart, but what I do may help you get to the desire of your heart. The desire of your heart may be that you want to open up a shelter for battered women. Well, once again, I tell people all the time that takes two things, time and money, right? So if you want to open up a shelter for battered women, people say, oh, but there's grants, and because I do that for a living as well, right? But there's grant money. I say, yeah, there's grant money, but you've got to get your organization up and running first, and that takes money. So what I do may be the way to help you make the extra money to fund the beginning of your dream. And then after you funded it, you can say, okay, Mary Kay was great. It helped me fund my organization. Mary Kay was great. It helped me fund my daughter's camp tuition. I mean, I'm talking about me. My daughter had to go to different kinds of camps, and my daughter had to have special kinds of music lessons, all these different things that cost more than my paycheck. And I was able to set those intentions, and she was able to have those experiences because of the intention that I had set. And the intention for me was I never wanted to be that the government would decide what my daughter was entitled to. It was never
mm,
going to be that the government said she could only go here or she could only do this, or insurance only said she could only have this or she could only have that. That was my intention. And the path that I took was my Mary Kay business.
yeah. Yes, I love the fact that we on the same page too. I think it's so interesting when you get around people that have such a heart, for people, and they have such an intentional message, for those that are around us, and in understanding that we do have more options. There are more things that are out there that you may not have, gone this specific direction to get that information, but here you are having the conversation along with us to see, what, this is something I do like to do. This is something I thought about when I was a kid.
Mhm.
There was something I thought of that I wanted to do in school. These
That's
are
right.
things that, yeah, that we forget about, we cast aside because so many people were saying no, 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 no,
Hmm.
or circumstances gotten to the point where too many things happen in your life, so that doesn't look like that's going to be the road that you were going to be on. But nor did you give yourself the opportunity to do so. So why?
Exactly.
What are we doing?
So think about it. During this pandemic, businesses have sprouted up everywhere. People discovered their love for baking again. They discovered their love for sewing again. And next thing you know, they're baking pies and cakes, and they were able to create a business and help make extra money for their families. They discovered their love of sewing again. Think about it. All the women who made masks and dusted off their sewing machine, hadn't sewed. I'm one of them. Had not sewed in forever, right? And we're able to make masks and get masks out and quickly for people. One of the things that happens when we were shut down is that we were able to go within and we were able to actually be silent enough to hear the voice of God. I truly believe we could be silent enough. The noise was able to be stifled and we could actually hear the voice of God. Now, of course, where we're at right now is everybody's like, oh, pandemic overload. But the truth of the matter is, think about what have you experienced during this time where you did have time to think, where you did have time to reflect. What were those little girl dreams? What were those things that you thought about becoming? I used to say, oh, I was going to be a neurosurgeon. Well, that didn't work out because, I didn't like science, right? But who knew that I would be working to help change the lives of other people? Well, God knew because from a child, I always loved to help people. My mother helped people. It's like in our DNA, right? My mother is a pastor and also the longest serving chairperson for the social science division at community college here in New Jersey. And all we were raised to help people. And so, what is it that you can think about during this time period that brings you back to who you were when you were growing up? That you can now, decide that you want to pursue it. Maybe now is the time to go back to school. Maybe now is the time to change the field that you're in. There's a reason for this season that we're in, and we can't despise it. We really can't despise it. And I know it's a challenge, but we just can't despise it because if we say we trust God, then we can trust him in this season as well. I was going to share something I thought about, which was, we always say that the word says we're supposed to leave a legacy for our children's children's children. And we only think about that a lot of times in relationship to money, but I want to put a different perspective on it. Can you leave a legacy for your children's children's children as it relates to self worth and self image and growth? Can you let them see that, grandma didn't finish her degree, but grandma made a decision that she was going back to school and she decided at 50 she wanted to be a lawyer, all right? And she did it. Can you leave that kind of legacy? Can you leave a story for your children's children's children that will inspire them to remember the DNA from which they come from? That during this time of a pandemic, that 100 years from now, when our children are reading about it, they can say, wow, that's when my grandmother started her bakery. That's when my grandmother earned her pink Cadillac. That's when my grandmother became a lawyer. That's legacy to me. I know legacy is money to a lot of people, but legacy is also those things that change the trajectory of the lives of those who come after you.
Yeah. See. There was a reason for this talk. I can tell you that now. But certainly, okay. You. Wow. Okay. So what you said is we gotta be intentional about what we're doing for our families, for those around us, so that we can leave a decent legacy.
Mhm.
Something that will go generation to generation. Don't be the person that was here and didn't leave anything for the next generation. Um, I like that. I really did. I really did like that. Okay, so My Myya-ian Tribe definitely wants to possibly get a hold of you. What
I love
can,
that.
how can they do so?
They can text me. Look, I don't even have any aliases. They can inbox me on Facebook, Leah Dade. Like it's not even like an alias, right? They can text me. My number is 973-985-6363. So they can text, email, carrier pigeon. We got everything. DM, I'm on WhatsApp. I mean, I don't, I'm not a hidden figure. How about that? I'm not a hidden figure. I love to be a blessing to others. I love to inspire others to the next level that they need to be to help build God's kingdom. I'm just real about that. That to me is the most important calling on my life, to help build the kingdom and to help people know that who they are doesn't matter and who they were doesn't matter. He is the one that matters. And when he changes our lives, he truly does set us free. And who the Son has set free is free indeed.
Reason? Yes. Okay. Definitely. Thank you so much, you guys. My Myya-ian Tribe. I'm so appreciative to you, Lee, because like, wow, yes, yes. That conversation was absolutely phenomenal, and just the words of encouragement was definitely needed, especially in this time. I say this to my Myya-ian Tribe, please, just just hear it, you know. Um, if there's something that you want to do, something you want to say, to leave a legacy, to encourage the next person behind you. Let's do it. Let's do it together. We can. We can certainly. So, thank you so much for living your best life with Lady Myya. You guys, I'm on Patreon now, finally. So I'm trying to do some things for the content, and I definitely always want just more for you guys. That's all I want, and I want to be able to help those you're gonna be able to help. As well. You're starting your businesses and different things like that. I want to give you guys more resources, whatever is available to me, as well. So all that will be in the description below, as well as, hey, you want to be on here? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You can always hit me up on my email. That is the number one, Lady Myya, MYYA@gmail.com. And you know why, you guys? Because your homegirl is special. Love you guys so much, and you have a most fantabulous day.